Hi there, my name's Todd and welcome back to Adventure-Ography. So it's another hot day here in North Carolina, so we're not going to spend a lot of time outside. We're going to spend most of our time in the shop working on the bikes today. I'm going to wait for that truck to go by. I apologize about the sound out here. I live right alongside a highway and it is kind of busy for some reason this morning, so we're not going to spend a lot of time out here in the heat. It's probably 95 degrees or something like that, and the humidity is pretty ugly. So what I thought we'd do today, this was a viewer request. Now that we've done a few videos, we thought we would do just a bike lineup, kind of show you some of my bikes, give you a little story, give you a little background story on each one. I'm a storyteller, so every one of these bikes has a little story. So we're just going to go real easy, take it nice and slow, and go through each one of these bikes individually, kind of give you an idea of what's going on. It looks like we have somebody pulling into my driveway. Hang on. Okay, yeah, so if I got these doors open, people come by. They will come by to see if I sell bikes, work on bikes, what I have to sell, and what they have that they need fixed or what they're looking for. So that gentleman there was coming by to look at what I had for sale. He had a four-wheeler he was talking about, and also wanted to look at see if I had a four-wheeler for his kids. So anyway, I do not. So anyway, what I thought we'd do is kind of do a rundown of the bikes I have here and do a story a little bit about each one. I apologize about the noise of the highway. It's Friday and it is a busy day today. Seems to have a little more traffic than usual. So let me give you a little rundown of the Ibex 450. We have done a video of me riding the Ibex 450 and talking a little bit about it. So this bike was highly anticipated in 2025. It was probably the most anticipated bike coming out. Between this, the Royal Enfield, we've talked about that. And in this genre, some of the things I've done to this particular bike is upgraded the tires first off. Upgraded the tires. Some of the things I want to do to this bike is upgrade these plastic hand guards. They're, I'm not going to say they're junk, but they're not going to take too many beatings. I have dropped the bike and they haven't broke yet. They've flexed, but that's just a matter of time. So I am going to upgrade those ASAP. The pegs I've redone. The bags are the Tusk Olympus bags. As far as the tank bag, these Tusk bags I highly recommend. They've taken a beating, and I'm running the Tusk bags. I'm kind of a weird guy, I like everything to match, so my phone cord, the stripes, my bag, I had to get it all color coordination, and I know that's kind of goofy, but that's who I am. I'm a little bit goofy. So that being said, let's get on to it. I did put some 2-tracks on it, these Tusk 2-track tires. This front tire, I noticed tracks. If you are on a highway and there's imperfections on the highway, a line, that 2-track tire right there is going to grab a hold of it and go wherever that line goes. So you kind of got to have a loose grip. You can't be holding on too tight when you're on the interstate. You kind of got to be a little flexible and let the bike kind of go where it wants to go within reason. The back tire is beautiful. That back tire's got some amazing grip to it. I've had it in deep sand, deep dirt. It does super well. It's great on the highway. I have zero complaints with that rear tire on the 2-track, and I absolutely love the look of it. Other than that, all I've done is upgraded the foot pegs. And again, you can go back and watch some of the other videos that I did specifically on this bike. So coming on to the next bike is a 2022, no, it's a 20, yeah, I think I bought it in 22. It's a 2023 model. It is a Kawasaki 650. It's kind of got a cult following behind this bike. A couple years ago, I was sitting on my son's couch out in Idaho. We were watching the Idaho BDR video. If you don't know what the Idaho BDR or any BDR videos are, I highly recommend you go check out the BDR videos. What the BDR videos stand for is back road discovery routes. 90% of the states out west, in fact, I think all the western states have a completed BDR route. The BDR stands for back road discovery route. So the states out there have got a route mapped out by the nonprofit organization of BDR. And what these guys have done is they've gone out and they have mapped out a trail from one end of the state to the other that is as much off-road as you can get to. Now you need to have a dual sport motorcycle to be able to ride the whole route, because there are some pavement sections to get you from one section to the next. You're going to need to go in to possibly to get some gas in town. You're going to need to have some highway sections. So you need to have a bike that's registered to be able to ride both the highway and also dirt. But they are definitely dirt focused, dirt oriented, and they want you on the dirt as much as possible. There's workarounds. You can skip sections. You can, there's expert sections, there's intermediate sections. They've done a fantastic job. Go check out the BDR routes in your state. They've expanded out here to the east. There's some New England section or northeast sections. There's a southern section. There's some that make loops. Anyway, go check out the BDR route. Okay, a little bit about the KLR. This is the KLR 650 Adventure model. Comes with crash bars included. Comes with these lights. These are awesome lights. Comes with a bash plate that was kind of chintzy, so one of my first things I did was upgrade that bash plate. I put on the Tusk. The foot pegs that came on this bike were plastic or rubber inserts. They were very spongy, didn't give you a good feel. They were not great for standing up. They had too much flex, so I hard mounted those. This bike came with these hard bags. I very rarely run with these hard bags. I store them on the bike. When I did my cross-country trip on this bike, I did run the Tusk panniers on these racks, and they did fantastic. Other than that, I did put on, what have I done to this? I put on the Tusk hand guards. Those came in handy because she's been down a few times. I put on these double take mirrors. These are very similar to the mirrors on the Ibex. On this Ibex, these mirrors, one of the features of them, and these come stock like this, kind of fold back and forth. The KLR didn't have those, so I got the double take mirrors. You can adjust them up and move them all around. If you crash, they will just move around. Love, love, love the double takes. I know they've had some upgrades this year, and they are even better. They get better and better every year. The tires on this bike are the Shinko 705s. They are a more of a street-oriented tire. They are about a 70% street, 30% dirt. I've had these tires in creek crossings. I rode sections of that Idaho BDR on this bike with these tires, and they did fantastic. They're great for on the road. That front tire, just being a 21-inch tire, that they just roll great on the highway. I haven't had any issues of them rolling around the highway. They don't track like the 2-track does on the Ibex. So if you're going to do some moderate off-road and mostly highway riding, those 705s are fantastic. Other than that, this has been an awesome bike. Like I say, I've ridden cross-country across this bike. People laugh at me. It wasn't a fast trip, but it was actually a pretty comfortable trip. The seat on this is like a couch. I'll tell you what, it's very, very hot today, but that seat right there is like sitting on a couch. You can move back and forth on it. It is super plush, super soft. Now again, when I rode across country, I had a lot of the stuff that I have on my Ibex on this bike. I had the tank bag on this bike. I had the handlebar bag. I had the front bag. I had this bike loaded down. I'll put in some pictures of it. As far as some of the stops I made on the KLR 650. I don't know, it's got a cult thing. People have ridden these around the world. The reliability of the KLR is legendary. In fact, if you go check out Adam Raymond's video of Motology, he has bagged on these cars. I'm telling you, I don't know if you can hear nothing on this, but I hope so. But anyway, he's bagged on KLRs and KLR riders for years, and he decided I'm going to go ride one. He bought one got a loaner bike, a press bike from a dealer, rode it for 2 or 3 days, ended up buying one, fell in love with it, and is now praising the KLR 650 and all that it can do. So on to the next bike. So when I started getting into motorcycle riding, cross-country, off-road stuff, my wife was like, hey, I would like to go with you on some rides. So I don't like you going out by yourself for days, so I worry about you. I would like to go with you. So I did some research. I thought this would be a great bike for her. This is the Kawasaki Versys X. So this is a 300 Kawasaki engine. It came directly from the Ninja 300. So it's a parallel twin. It's got a great sound. It's incredibly fun to ride. It's a light bike. This is the bike we did the test of the air seat that we put on the other day. So I'm going to continue doing some tests on the air seat. I had these Rhino Walk bags mounted to this bike, but I took them off for that video just so you could get a good look at the seat and the installation that we did on this. Again, I love these lights so much that I put them on my other bike. I bought them specifically for this Kawasaki. These are the GV crash guards, and they're fantastic. They're really beefy. I like the GV. They were easy to install. One thing this bike needs in a bad way is a bash plate. Look at those exhaust pipes coming off there. So if she's going to do any kind of off-roading major, gonna need to upgrade to a bash plate on that. They do make them aftermarket. So some of the ideas I have for this bike, I've got some great ones. I'd like to make it more off-road capable. Definitely got street-oriented tires at the moment, but I really want to take this bike and transform it into more off-road and take it and do some off-roading with it. Not just light off-road. I would like to take this bike and do some serious off-road with it and just see if it can handle putting it through some paces. So that's kind of some idea I have for the channel is taking this bike and doing some improvements on it. It's super fun to ride. It's super light, and I think it's got a lot of exciting things that we could do to it to make. So that is the Kawasaki Versys 300X. If you're looking for something to do some zip around commuter bike, that's a good bike right there. All right, on to an oldie but a goodie. This bike here is I think it's a 2001 model KLX 300. We got this bike from a friend of mine. A dealer said it wouldn't run. They didn't want to work on it, and basically said it ain't worth our time to work on it. So we acquired it, and the carburetor was all gummed up. Had a box full of parts. I went through the parts and took it all apart, put it back together, cleaned the carburetor, and the bike fired up. After the bike fired, put a little money into it. We put on a sprocket chain, new front tire, and new grips. We're going to take this and do some trail riding with it. Pretty fun bike. I've done a little research. I haven't ridden this bike yet on the trails, but from what I know, it's an incredibly fun bike. It's a little tall. Compared to my CRF 250F sitting next to it, you can tell that the 300 is a little bit higher. Something that this bike comes with is this super corny skull that'll be coming off ASAP. In fact, I think I've got it ready to pull off. It does work, but it's stupid. Anybody who would put that on there is just stupid. So anyway, hey, but if you like that kind of stuff, to each your own. But that is not my style. A couple things that they've done on this bike that we got to fix. I got to get a cap for this. This is some cheap Amazon cap that does not seal nor look decent at all. So this bike had a leak in the tank. Tanks for these are super expensive. I couldn't find one, so I fixed that one. So it does no longer leak gas all over. Anyway, okay, we're gonna move on to my personal favorite dirt bike is the Honda CRF 250F. So why did I buy the 250F? We can go back to the KLR to back there. So I started riding that KLR, doing some off-road. As a kid, I rode quite a bit of dirt bikes, and as a kid, I just think you're dumb and foolish. You don't know right from wrong, or so you just ride and have a good time. This bike here I bought because after riding that KLR off-road, I really needed to develop my skills as a dirt bike rider. The KLR comes in pretty heavy at around 460 pounds, I think, wet weight, full of gas. You load that up with a bunch of camping gear, and it is a handful for a guy like me, my age, my riding ability to ride. So I wanted to really improve my skills. So I ended up buying this bike from my son's best friend all through high school, and I brought this bike in Idaho State and then transported it out here. And this has been my bike that I ride to improve my riding abilities, and it has. I'm not saying I'm a good rider. I'm not saying I'm even a intermediate rider. But the improvements I've made riding a dirt bike have been on this bike. It's forgiving. It's light. It is a super blast to ride, and I've just loved riding this bike. So if you're looking to get into some of these bigger adventure bikes and your skill level is low, my recommendation is don't start there, start here. Start with a dirt bike, develop some skills, learn how to ride a dirt bike, learn what it's like to get that back end moving out from under you. And then transit into some of those bigger bikes, or progress up to a heavier bike, bigger bike. You'll thank me in the long run. Okay, this little guy on the end here is my wife's Honda CRF 125. So again, that is her Versys there in the middle. She loves that bike, but it's too big for her. She wanted to go riding with me, so I thought that would be a good bike. I was absolutely wrong. That bike is too big for my wife to ride starting out. So what did I do? I did exactly what I did for myself on the 250F. I backtracked. So I bought her this little little 125, and she absolutely loves this bike. She thinks it's super fun to ride. It is. It's lightweight. She's not intimidated by this bike at all. She jumps on this and rips around, and we go riding some pretty hard stuff. We went to Uwharrie National Forest a couple weeks ago, and I say on a scale of 1 to 10, that's probably about a 7 or 8 in difficulty level riding, and she just didn't know any better. She just plodded away and went up and down anything that we pointed at. I felt kind of bad putting her out there in that stuff, but she did great, and she came out relatively unscathed. She has a few bumps and bruises. She went down a couple times and kind of got banged up a little bit, but that is dirt bike riding. She's aware of it, and we are big on gear, so we got her tons of gear, and she can't wait to get back out and ride. So there's a quick lineup of the bikes here. And again, this is the old fire station. That is the new fire station, hence the fire engine. so that's kind of a rundown of the bike, some of the things that we've done to them, and also some of the adventures that I've had on them. We have lots more to come. I hope you guys can come along on some of these adventures. I've done a couple rallies on the KLR. I've ridden the KLR out west and done some adventures out there. I've taken the Ibex on a couple of adventures already since I've had it, since I got it. And I love it. So come along, we're going to do some more. Let's do some more riding. Let's do some builds. I got some reviews. I got some fun stuff coming that I'm excited to share with you. So come along. I appreciate all the support of the channel. We're brand new. We're learning every day. So every day I learn new stuff about how to edit, how to make the videos better. I screw up a lot. I make a lot of mistakes. I appreciate you bearing with me as we make those mistakes. So don't give up and keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep doing all the things that is going to make us grow. So if you do your part, I'll do mine, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. So love you, mean it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great one, and we'll record some stuff over the weekend if we do anything fun. So I hope you guys have a great one. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.